Hello everyone and welcome to the LTYou show, where each year a show is made in Horsforth and broadcast live to the nation. We're your hosts, Owen Prem.
And I'm Emma Gifford. This year we'll be exploring some of the amazing things you can do in your spare time in Leeds, especially if you're into the arts and culture.
But now, the hosts are introduced. The show is ready, I hope. Please enjoy LTYou Leeds. Coming up on today's show.
Pop goes the easel. We're heading down to the art workshop where you can grab a glass of fizz and try your hand at painting.
It's cherry blossom season and we find out where you can find a hidden taste of Japan right here in Leeds.
And if you're bored of staying in, you can always go out and get a different kind of board at a bar that has over 500 tabletop games.
And I'm over in the corner of the studio to watch our resident artist, Alex, create a work of art inspired by today's show. No pressure.
And later, we'll also have two very special guests live in the studio to talk about their passion for the creative arts. All this and more on LTYou Leeds.
Now, I've always had a passion for art and I've always been very good at it.
On the other hand, I have no artistic talent whatsoever. However, I am very much willing to learn on today's show.
Let's hope so. But first, our roving reporter, Max Ryan, has been out and about exploring the Leeds Art Trail.
From the alleyways to the rooftops, this city is bursting with colourful artistic ambition. And whether you're a local or just passing through, the Leeds Art Trail is the perfect way to see the city in a whole new lens. Take a stroll through this open-air gallery and you will find over 20 iconic murals dotted around the city. This is You and Me and You by Anthony Burrell. 88 feet of bold and typography that lit up the city skyline during lockdown. It didn't become just a mural, it then became a message, an empowerment during a time of immense isolation. And if you're into trippy graffiti, check out this one at Wharf Chambers in St Eggs, Monica. And for you football fans, we have a mural, Paving the Way, dedicated to Calvin Phillips of the Leeds United football team. Download the guide and map today at Discover Leeds. Don't worry, it's free. Whether you're chasing the biggest murals or trying to find all the hidden gems in the back streets, Leeds is jam-packed with full ambition, unfiltered, raw. It's Leeds. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you very much for that, Max.
I'll definitely have to get myself down the art trail soon, especially since Max said it was free.
So many local artists were involved in the making of this beautiful art trail, and earlier today, Owen had the chance to speak to one of the art trail artists, Anthony Burrell.
Hello, Anthony. It's an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thanks for inviting me along. Yeah, it's great to be here.
So we're focusing on the Leeds Art Trail as a piece of the show, and we specifically focus on You and Me and You. Could you tell me a little bit about the piece, please?
It was a project that kind of dates back to about 2018, 2019. So yeah, I first started talking about it with Laura Wellington from a company called In Good Company. She said that we've got this big wall available. Would you like to do a mural? So I said, yes, I'd love to do that.
Was You and Me You always going to be the mural, or had there been a decision somewhere further down the line that wasn't going to be the case?
So I think I submitted like 2 or 3 different designs, but always the way that the type kind of repeats off the top and the bottom of the building, and you know, kind of rather than just like having like a kind of an artwork plonked onto a building, I wanted the type to kind of almost like feel part of the building, almost like the building had been sliced. Yeah. And the kind of type runs through it like a stick of rock.
What does it mean to have a mural in Leeds? Does it mean a lot to you, or is it just like another art piece to you?
you know, for me, it's just like it's really significant to have a piece of work that connects with, you know, my time in Leeds and, you know, what Leeds gave to me. So yeah, I just love that it's kind of become part of the city as well.
Your website, it describes your work as a knack for simplicity that packs a punch. Could you explain a little bit about what that means?
For me, it's making that real connection with people, and I think I think using words kind of does that really succinctly, and you know, kind of gets a point across. So yeah, so that's my main aim, is to say the most by using the least.
That was a fascinating interview, and I'm jealous you got to do it.
I know, especially considering the arty one, but it was amazing getting to talk to him, and I learned so much in that interview.
Now, as we saw at the start of the show, we've got our very talented reporter, Alex, creating her own masterpiece over in the corner.
And we can now cross over to Katie, who's with Alex, to check on how she's getting on.
Thank you, Owen and Emma. Now let's take a look at Alex's piece inspired by today's show. So what is this piece?
This piece is inspired by my trip to the Japanese gardens, which you will see later on in the show.
It's very beautiful, but what's your usual style?
Yeah, you're right, this isn't my usual style. I'm normally a portrait artist, but the scenery of the Japanese gardens really inspired me to create more of a landscapey piece.
I really like the style of it. You can really just connect with the Japanese aesthetic of it. What are these pieces behind you, I asked?
Oh, these, a few of them I did earlier, and this one was created by Gabby, and you'll see her create that later on in the show. This one is inspired by one of the pieces of the art trail that Max went to go and see.
Well, they're really, really beautiful piece. I love the colours and the way you've presented them. But now we will have to go back to Emma and Owen in the studio, but we will see you later for artwork sent in by our crew.
Thank you so much, Katie. Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing what you're up to next. But now, let's find out a little bit more about what Leeds has to offer when it comes to the city's more official art installations.
Yes, our reporter Max has been out and about again to find out about the current expositions on at Leeds City Museum and Leeds Art Gallery.
Welcome to Leeds Art Gallery, here in the heart of the city centre, which has been inspiring individuals for over 140 years. Let's go have a look. Inside, the collection is extremely impressive, with many big names such as Henry Moore and Barbara Hepworth, with also many new vibrant artists also making their way into the art scene. I spoke to Jane Boyru, Principal Keeper at Leeds Art Gallery, to find out more.
We work very collaboratively as a team, so we have colleagues in engagements, learning, in community work and curatorial expertise as well. So we come together and we have programming meetings once a month in which we talk about ideas we'd like to realise or look at proposals. We're a really key institution, a civic institution within the city. We're free for everyone to visit. We have an incredible art collection spanning the centuries, and we're particularly well known for our modern British sculpture collection. But we're continuing to acquire sculpture today and works across a variety of media, and we really support artists in the city through acquiring their work.
Whether you're into oil paintings, bold canvases, or the avant-garde, this place is a single kind of art for every kind of art lover.
So our current special exhibition is Miffy's 70th birthday, and that is celebrating the 70th anniversary of the publication of the first Miffy book. So we've got lots of Miffy-themed activity happening. That's one to look out for. We've also got some adult Miffy events coming up. It seems we've discovered that there's a huge adult audience that is Miffy's very popular with. We see ourselves as a space of creativity and imagination and play. So yeah, the museum can be an incredibly educational place for young people to visit.
Well, Emma, that's another couple of things on my bucket list. I can't wait to visit these places.
I thought it might be. That's exactly why we got Max to go there. And we're going to keep this art train rolling with our next segment all about painting with a glass of wine.
You've got my interest.
How predictable. If you've always fancied having a go at painting but never had the confidence, now is your chance.
Yes, there is an art workshop in Leeds that could be the perfect place for you. Our reporter Gabby went to find out all about local art workshop Pino and Picasso.
If you're feeling creative, Pino and Picasso is a hidden gem in Leeds Central Arcade that ticks all of the boxes. With local artists guiding you step by step, no experience is needed for this sip and paint event. With alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks and snacks available at the bar, the only thing you need to bring is yourself. So grab a glass and a paintbrush and take a trip to Pino and Picasso.
Okay, so we're going to start and we're going to do boot and scooting.
Okay, let's see how this goes.
Yeah, so let's give it a go.
Oh wow, my hands are so shaky.
It's nerve-wracking business.
I know. I'm putting the line right now.
Yeah, and then I would say the carve is coming down like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's coming back out. Yeah, so basically our artworks are either 2 hour or 3 hour, really. So we've kind of got a variety. I think one thing that we're really adamant about is the fact that when customers come in, a lot of them are beginners, a lot of them, they're completely new to it. And what we just advise is, it's not actually about what you make. If you're nervous about what you're gonna create, just focus on the experience. You're here with friends, you're here with family, you're creating a memory. If you're not getting it as great as you want, that's another opportunity to come back and practice more. So we just kind of come back with positive energy and always trying to uplift the mood, because I know people are booking in to have a great time, essentially.
Yeah, I love that. So it's less of like a structured thing, more of the come as you are, chill, get started at your own pace.
We kind of gather everybody in. People tend to kind of come in dribs and drabs anyway. So we get people that are very, very prompt, 10 minutes early, or we get people that are, you know, rushed off their feet and about
maybe had a pre-drink.
5 minutes after, exactly. And we sometimes get people that come into public sessions that come back and book in for privates as well. So private sessions are where you mentioned the DJ sets. We also sometimes have drag queen hosts.
Oh, I love that.
We sometimes have butler in the buff. We haven't had one yet. I'm preparing myself for one that we have coming up in June.
Amazing.
So yeah, so it's pretty exciting. It's pretty fun.
So guys, keep your eye out for butler in the buff if you wanna get down in June.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gabby. It's good to see you had a good time there. But Emma, once we finish this, can we go to Pino and Picasso?
I don't know.
I'll pay.
Pino and Picasso, here we go.
Yes, but wait a minute. I don't know what to paint. What should I paint? Should I paint my dog? Should I paint my parents?
Well, our next segment might give you some inspiration for painting a landscape, like it did for our reporter Alex.
Yes, she went to explore a hidden piece of Japan right here in Horsforth and has ended up painting a picture of it.
Walking through the entrance of this walled-off garden is like being transported to another world. It's like a slice of Japan right here in Leeds. It's the only one of its kind in Leeds, and it provides a tranquil environment with its harmonious design around a large central lake. You can spot all kinds of Japanese trees and plants, from sakura to magnolia and even bamboo. Horsforth Hall Park and the Japanese gardens are open to the public every day of the year during daylight hours. It's definitely worth checking out. At the Japanese gardens, you can also see wildlife in the lake, beautiful cherry blossom trees in full bloom, and hear bird songs everywhere you go. Opened in 1987, the Japanese garden in Hall Park is a celebration of the traditional Oriental gardens, with various features and materials used to represent the mountains, forests, lakes, waterfalls and grasslands found in Japan.
Thank you, Alex, for that. That was fantastic to see those beautiful gardens. Japanese culture is a fascinating blend of ancient traditions and modern innovations, characterised by strong social harmony and their unique combination of traditional and contemporary elements.
Yes, however, I heard nothing about an ice cream fan, so severely disappointed.
Now I want ice cream too.
Well, let's catch up now with Katie to see how Alex's artwork is progressing. Over to you, Katie.
Thank you, Owen. Alex, how's the piece coming along?
I feel like this is pretty much finished, especially in the time of the show.
It really has come together.
Yeah, I feel like it does perfectly show the Japanese gardens because it was such a calming atmosphere, and we definitely went at the perfect time of year because it was obviously springtime, so everything was just starting to blossom. And even though there were a few screaming kids around, it still had the relaxing atmosphere that's very common in gardens similar to this.
Well, now let's go on to some of our own crew's works of art.
This piece was done by our host Emma. It's very clearly based on the Starry Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh, and I feel like it's a great representation of it.
I have to agree, Alex. It's a really beautiful piece. Now on to our other presenter, Owen's piece. Owen is the big age of 19, and this is his piece, Bone. It's not the most artistic, I'm going to have to say, but we have to give him props.
We very clearly have a budding artist here, and it's Owen.
We also have this piece down here by Laura. It's a beautiful bouquet of flowers. But that's all from us today. We'll see you later. Back to Owen and Emma.
Thank you so much, Katie, for them really kind work. But that was brilliant. So, Emma, do you like board games?
I do. And you know what? There's a cafe called Chance Encounters where you can dabble at everything from Monopoly to Cluedo.
To find out more, our reporter Gabby went to get the scoop on Chance Encounters. Get it? Chance Encounters. Counters, as in the board game. Yeah.
Another hidden gem in Leeds is Chance Encounters Board Game Cafe, based on Merrion Street. For just £2.50, you can have access to over 500 board games. With that many options, there's something for everyone.
My name's Jacob, I'm the Deputy General Manager here at Chance Encounters. I sort of wear many hats here, so just managing staff, managing the day-to-day operations of the place. The main part of my job is putting missing pieces back into the board games because people drop them and then just leave them there. We do have 500 games.
Yeah.
We know them, we can recommend you them, we want to bring you into this hobby. We want to show you what it can be, but provide that sort of casual space for you to find it.
They also host events such as D&D one-shots and student nights, not to mention they're also dog-friendly. And how can our viewers get involved in that? Is it just a case of showing up, or do you have to reach out?
Just show up.
Yeah.
Most of our events are ticketed and you'll find that on our website.
Amazing. If Chance Encounters was a board game, what board game do you think it would be?
Oh man, I think it's Mousetrap because there are just so many things going on at once, so many little things, but it fundamentally, this crazy mess comes together and it works.
Yeah. And what is your favourite game here?
That is a very big question, but I've tried to whittle it down. So my favourite game of all time is Coup. This is Uno if you could lie, essentially. So you all have different powers. You each have 2 cards that can do things. However, you can lie about what you have.
It's amazing. I've never heard of that one.
You are just trying to murder each other.
Yeah.
That is all you're trying to do and be the last person standing. We are something that you can't get in Leeds. We provide everything. We're jack of all trades, but master of all of them. We've got alcoholic drinks. We've got non-alcoholic drinks. We've got kids menus. We do food, all homemade as well by our former Michelin star chef.
For a wholesome day out or a competitive night in, Chance Encounters is the perfect place to relax, play and enjoy something a little different in the heart of Leeds.
Thank you very much, Gabby. Looks like great fun.
Well, we've had excitement inside and outside the studio, but I think it's finally time to introduce our guests.
Yes, we're joined now by two film experts, Ricardo, who's promoting his independent short film called Mind the Gap, and Eleanor, who's one of the organisers for Leeds Film Festival.
But before we start chatting, let's have a look at the trailer for Mind the Gap.
How many of you here have heard of the awarding gap?
Brilliant, mate, brilliant. Good. I would like to share with you some important data. Now, this information is sensitive.
Yes, it can be confusing.
Oh, mate. He's only gone and got himself the worst awarding gap figures in the whole university.
I cannot be biased, can I? And the data has to be false.
Will someone please tell me, are we supposed to take any of this seriously?
Given your own situation, Daniel, the spotlight will fall on you.
That was really good.
Good for you, Daniel. Good for you.
Good?
Yes. Good.
Hiya, and welcome to the studio. How are you both feeling today?
Very good, thank you.
Good, thank you for having us.
And would you mind just giving it a brief overview of your jobs, just so the listeners at home know exactly what you do?
Okay, well, I'm Ricardo Barker. I'm a associate professor at Leeds Trinity University, specialising in film practice and an independent filmmaker.
My name's Eleanor. I work for Leeds Young Film, so I watch a lot of the short films. I also do a lot of youth engagement and getting young people to come to the festivals. And the film festivals basically centre around filmmaking and watching films.
So, Ricardo, I've got to ask you straight away.
Okay.
That trailer showed us so much, but when will it be out for the public to see? Because I know there's been private screenings, but yet there's yet to be a screening for everyone.
Cool. So we've got it's like a pre-launch screening, May the 14th, here at Leeds Trinity University, 10 a.m. So that's open to anybody. They can come along, and I hope you guys will come along and see it. And then we're going to stream it live on June the 18th, 6 o'clock in the evening, and we're going to be doing a live show, a live screening, and in both there'll be a Q&A, so people can ask the cast and the student crew.
And Eleanor, if people from home obviously want to submit a film to the film festival, how would they go about doing it, and would it cost them any money?
So with indies, I'm presuming most of the people watching are probably young.
Mostly young students or parents of students.
Yeah, cool. So we have all our submissions on a platform called Film Freeway, which is a very big film festival submission platform. Indie submissions are currently free. Anyone from 15 to 25 can submit. And they'll open up usually around June time. So yeah.
So Ricardo, I know you got students involved in your project.
Yeah.
And Eleanor, how important is it that Ricardo got these students involved? Do you think that students need to now be leading the way almost in the film industry, that these are the future generation?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's so valuable. Like, a huge part of what we do filmmaking courses as well. The film industry notoriously is so hard to get into. Everyone will always tell you it's who you know, but what do you do if you don't know anybody? Which is why these things are so good. It's so valuable and so important to give young people the ladder to get on. Because once you're on, you're in. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So. And as you guys all know, I mean, creating anything is really, really stressful. Having people who, professionals who can support students when they're making films or they're around and seeing how stress is managed, I think that's really important for students to know.
Mm-hmm. And how many submissions do you usually get to the film festivals?
Oh, it can be anywhere from 300 to 500. 500 is probably the most we've ever got. One year, a couple of years ago, we did get 500 and it was only me watching them. So that was a year. But yeah, I do have programmers that help us out now because it is rising.
So Mind the Gap is all about the awarding gap. Could you please explain to the audience what that is?
Okay, put very, very simply, there's a disparity within all universities, and universities have known this for about 20 years. There's a disparity within ethnic groups within universities. Certain groups are more likely to get a good degree than others. And certain universities, they have it's like a narrow gap, and other universities have a large gap. But generally speaking, in spite of somebody's background and the A-levels that they come into university having, some are less likely to get a degree. So something's happening within that time in university and it's bias. There are biases that are taking place.
So was the film to try and raise awareness for this problem?
Absolutely, and also because it's such a complex and challenging topic, it's how to kind of make it engaging so that it's not a heavy, because it is a very, very serious and heavy topic, but it's trying to make it accessible so that there's humour and irony and there's a bit of absurdity about the whole thing, so it's trying to make it quite accessible for an audience.
Yeah. So, Eleanor, have you heard about the awarding gap before you came here today? Was that something you knew about?
What about Ricardo's film, or just in general?
No, sorry, just in general, yeah.
It's something that I'm aware of, just in general. Obviously, I've worked in the film industry for years, so I can't speak much about universities and things, but the industry, yeah, the gap is...
There are gaps.
Yeah, it's not great. There's an improvement, but I think there's much more improvement to be made.
So what is that disparity in the film industry?
I mean, speaking for myself, as a young queer woman, I do find that, you know, there's certain roles that you tend to see it's mostly men, and that's the biggest one, I think. I mean, when I'm not at the festival, I work as an intimacy coordinator, so it's it's mostly women. But there was a point where I wanted to go into lighting, and it's very intimidating because everybody in there is a male electrician. So, yeah.
And obviously, as a man, how do you view this problem?
Well, I mean, I think it's terrible, you know, and I think that it's really important that with the content that we make and within industry, we're reflective of the wider community, you know, and if we're only getting certain voices and certain individuals that are allowed and have access to that, then you're only going to get certain types of stories. So it needs addressing, but it's complex, and Mind the Gap, it kind of explores how complicated, even though people who have good intentions to address it, it's really, really tricky.
Yeah. So thank you, Ricardo and Eleanor, so much for coming on the show today. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you about Leeds Film Festival and getting to find out a little bit more about your movie, which I can't wait to see.
Thank you.
But thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Well, Emma, that's got me even more excited to see Mind the Gap, and I want to go to the film festival next year.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to watching it now, and I think the film festival is definitely something to put into your diaries.
Yeah, it sounds so exciting, but sadly, we're coming towards the end of the show, and I have to say, we've been given so many great suggestions of what to do in Leeds, whether that be the film festival or that be the art trail.
Yes, amongst other things, we've covered art, literature and film, so it feels like we really should end with a bit of music.
Well, our favourite reporter, Max Ryan, has not only been exploring the works of art around Leeds, but he's also an artist himself, and he's agreed to serenade us out with one of his own compositions.
We do hope you've enjoyed today's show, and we hope you'll tune in again next year. But for now, though, it's goodbye from us.
So take it away, Max. Take it away.
Of persistent screams of blowouts on the brain. It's here.